Anyway, hi everybody. This is Matt, and I'm here with Phil Stone, and we are Whose Monster Is It Anyway? And we're going to, with your help this evening, if we get some people online, we're going to create another monster. And I don't know about you, Phil, but it's going to be tough to beat Crocobot.
Dude, that thing turned out awesome. And I'm not saying the drawing is just the whole layout. Where do you get that layout from?
I've got a preset. So some of the stuff that we publish, we've already got.
Oh, okay. That's
Already got
cool.
kind of a preset, so it's fairly easy. I still, you still have to do the some formatting and whatnot, but for the most part, I can just plug it right in and go.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it came out pretty good. I probably should make.
Are you going to do one for the other one too?
Yeah, for sure. I'll do one for the Aether Golem. That was just I had some spare time. In fact, I did most of that right after the show last week. So it was fairly quick, but I had the most trouble getting the dang Crocobot, like the picture formatted in there. So once that was done, it looks pretty good. And if you're watching that entire setup, all those creatures will eventually. Phil and I are talking about eventually putting that into one book. So, any help that you guys give us here, we'll go into that. And this is not Wizards Roundtable with Wolfgang Bauer. Man, forgot to change the activity. Amateur.
That was Wolfgang.
It's amateur hour. He's good. Yeah, no, he's really good. We had a great show with him the other night on Monday night, and talked monster development, ironically, for this week's
Right.
for this show, and he's got his Kickstarter coming up. I think the 21st of February is when it's over, but holy cow, they've already
I think they hit 300 grand.
blown it out of the park. I haven't looked at it in the last couple of days, but they had, I mean, I think they were asking 50 or 20 even. They were asking something fairly low,
Right.
and they had 2,000 or 3,000 backers, and I think I last looked at it was 200 grand. So they're knocking it out of the park. It's really good, really good.
Yeah, I checked it out in between classes today. I think they were at 260.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's cool.
Good for them. I'll tell you what, Wolfgang is the best contract, like, hander outer.
Is that right?
He's so prompt on his shit.
That's great. Yeah, that's really
But
good.
it's funny. He always goes to my spam mail, and I don't know why. Like, Mark Radley will always go to my inbox, but yeah, Wolfgang always gets kicked to my spam, so I got to check that too. I'm like, poor Wolfgang. I drunk dialed him one night.
Is that right?
Oh my god, it was one of those things where I had to look at it the next morning, going, "Oh my god, I called Wolfgang."
Wait, Wolfgang? Wolfgang? Yeah. That's pretty funny. I haven't done that in a long time, but I have had a history. I have certainly done that in the past. So if you are watching tonight, we are Whose Monster Is It Anyway? And we are going to create some sort of creature. What are you thinking? Yeah, you come in with preloaded with anything, Phil, tonight? You got?
Oh god, no. Actually, I was working on your stuff. I just emailed it off to you.
Oh yeah, I think I saw the email. I haven't taken a look at it yet. I'm excited about that. That's gonna be pretty cool. For those of you who are curious, we're doing a mimic shirt for GaryCon, so we're all gonna have our couch mimics on there.
The feet turned out awesome.
Did they? That's good.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull it up here in a minute. So I'm thinking we've done a golem. We've done a awesome Crocobot, half animal, half construct. What do you? How do you feel about aberrations?
Define aberration.
Tentacly stuff.
Oh,
stuff tentacles or
anime.
Not that kind. Let let me narrow the scope. More like illithids or mind flayers or beholders or aboleths or those types of things. Although now I'm not going to be able to get anime tentacles out of my head. So
what if we did?
we were talking about on Monday. The reason I bring it up is because on the Wolfgang show we were talking about it, and it's really hard to come up with like some terrifying. It's not hard to come up with a terrifying creature, I should say that. But the next, if you're shopping for next beholder, like the iconic creature of Dungeons and Dragons, the Mind Flayer or the Beholder, or what else? There's some other ones. Aboleth's a pretty good one, but it's really tough to come up with that. I did have, oh gosh, I don't know. We got anybody in chat? We got a couple people. They're just lurking though. They're not putting anything out.
We need some damn input. What if we put a giant eyeball on top of a tentacle, and this thing would just slither around? It was like what was that one cartoon where it was just a foot?
Just a foot?
Wasn't there just a foot monster, and a foot would just kind of walk around? Or am I thinking the Addams Family hand?
The Addams Family. That's what came to mind.
Yeah, but I swear to God, there was a foot. But what if we had just one tentacle that just kind of lurked around and had an eyeball on top of it? It didn't really do anything. It just kind of pissed. It was just enough to piss you off. Like,
so, is it a bunch of them and they do something?
No. Oh yeah, you can put them in swarms.
One giant. Like, is it big or small?
It'd be small.
Small.
It'd be considered like a rat.
Like an eyeball size, like a human eyeball size. Oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that.
And then just like a tentacle attached to it.
Do they have a collective? Like, are they all?
It's like a hive mind, yeah.
Oh yeah, I dig that.
And so if you end up in a dungeon with, I don't know, in the water.
Yeah, and it could be something like they can form crude shapes too, like if they all come together. So you got the individual,
like Voltron,
like rats. But yeah, they do their power ring thing, or Voltron. Yeah, they hold their tentacles up.
Well, what they do is they would create almost like a netting around you.
When they attack you.
Yeah, they would like monkeys in a barrel. They would just sit there and like all connect and like wrap around you and smother the shit out of you.
I dig it. So just imagine walking down a cavern deep in the Underdark or something, and this pile of eyeballs morphs up into vaguely human shape and then engulfs you. It's like they look at something, or they sense something, and they take its shape for a minute, and then or a couple seconds before it attacks or something like that.
So on its own,
that is creepy as all get out.
But yeah, they're like the new sewer rat.
Ooh, I like it. So does it do anything in? Does it do anything? Pretty easy to kill by itself, like one rat, right?
Right. Yeah, you just step on the stupid thing, but then like 50 more show up, and just like envelop you.
Right. Is it psychic? What kind of?
I don't think it would have a high intelligence. Like I said, it's like a hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, almost like drone-like, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I like it so far.
Let me darken up these pencils here. There we go. It's bugging me though what cartoon that was where it was just a foot. It's gonna bug the shit out of me. Yeah, and a few people from school hit me up, said they were going to log on tonight.
Okay,
So it's kind of cool.
that's great. Had to change the title. Still had Monday's show on it. Forgot to go in there and mess with it. All right, I think that's all set. Now that I've bored everybody to death. All right. So small. Gotta start making this guy up. All right, let's see here. We're worried about a name here in a second.
Oh, thank you for the badge, by the way.
Oh yeah, of course. My pleasure. It'll be awesome to hang out.
I'm gonna rent me a fancy car.
Well, shoot, yeah. If it's gonna be cheaper than flying, might as well get the awesome ride. I wouldn't get a convertible in March though. In up there, that might not be the best.
No. No, I was gonna get an SUV or something like that. Because there's no way in hell my cop car is gonna make it.
Right. Aberration. All right. Lawful evil, maybe. Like it's got.
It'd be chaotic, wouldn't it be?
You think it's chaotic? I was thinking lawful just because it's a hive. They got.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They got to work together.
Right.
All right. So this tiny creature appears harmless on its own, but words and stuff. All right.
Oh my god, this thing's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be stupid.
Gross.
It's gonna be. Just imagine like 6 inches of suckers. Just it starts at your ankle. Gently lifting your pant leg.
Okay. So I think I don't know if you even make stats for this guy on his own. I think you just make a swarm, right? Seems like you would just do.
Yeah, I think that's how it usually goes. I think something would have to be put in there though for if there was just one in an encounter, maybe, in case a DM wanted to run that kind of thing. Like, what if there's only one? Right. You know, as a teaser to like, as a plot hook.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. That's why I was wondering if you give it. And when I say psychic damage, I don't necessarily mean psychic damage is like the only Cthulhu type damage really, and
right.
So I was thinking, not that it's like smart and it's dealing.
I got you. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It's so gnarly and corrupted that its presence, even one of them, has this negative effect on you, dealing psychic damage. Okay, so this is something swarm of. I was gonna say tentaballs, but I don't think that really works. Let's see.
Nope.
Iycles.
Ooh.
All right, we'll go with that for right now. All right. Human-sized eyeball on top of a 6-inch tentacle. Tentacle. Appears to be a human medium-sized eyeball on top of a 6-inch tentacle, while appearing harmless on its own. The hundreds of its kin writhing on the floor. Gross.
Remember when Indiana Jones was looking down that pit?
Uh-huh.
Why is the floor moving?
Hurt your and assault your mind. Alright, so easy to squish. So maybe AC 12, natural armor, I think. Hit points. We'll get there in a minute. Speed. So do you think that's variable, or it just kind of plods along at like 10 regardless?
I think it would just go 10 if it's only 6 inches long. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I want to stat this guy by himself, but I just think that it's more of a swarm type creature. And then I can do, so when I do the final, I'll make it as a swarm, and then when we publish the final, I'll have individual in there.
Okay, cool.
That way we can really...
Yeah, I would say 30 then.
Really make it a menace. Ooh,
yeah.
30? Ooh.
It's like a whole bunch of little pitter-pattering feet.
Pitter-pattering or splatting footsteps.
Right. Oh, like when Stewie turned into that little octopus. And they had a whole bunch of them. He was inking everybody.
Uh-huh. 20 feet. Let's do 20 feet and then climb. We'll also give him a climb speed of 20 feet. I feel like in a en masse they'd be relatively strong, right? I mean, it's like all muscle tissue.
Yeah.
But not very dexterous. So let's do like an 8 dex. Is con a thing in a swarm?
That I don't know. I don't think so. Like, could it get sickened?
That's a good question. We think it's so what's the story with this thing? If we're thinking it's not necessarily intelligent, what is it? Is it a creation, some long lost?
That's what I was thinking. Is somebody tried something and didn't like it and kind of flushed it down the toilet, and then it became.
This is not at all what I expected.
It's gotten too big, Sally. You got to flush it. That's what happened to that alligator.
Right.
I felt so bad for that kid, man. She wanted that little alligator, and his dad's like, Dad was a dick.
Mm. All right, so we got a charisma and a int of 1. It's fairly cunning. It's got creature or animal-like cunning, so it's got an 8 wisdom. I'm just gonna say 10 con because
right.
I don't feel like it has a constitution. All right. Actually, that's -1, isn't it, for an 8? But strength, I think it's fairly strong. Do you think 14 is that in the ballpark or higher?
For strength?
Yeah.
No, I think that's about right.
As a
it's just strict. Yeah, it's just strictly muscle.
Go.
It's not her because 15's heroic, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that used to be how they would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so behind in the times. I don't know what the kids are doing these days.
Is that what the kids are calling it?
Jimmy's all heroic now. He's been working out. You heroic son of a gun.
All right, let's see here. resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. And then immunities, condition, damage immunities. Let's see, what are like it's probably immune. What, poison maybe?
Yeah, I would imagine so because they don't really.
Let's see here. What's the big old eyeball immune to here? 5. That's interesting. I didn't realize a beholder's favorite climate was cold, but I guess that makes sense. They live in the Underdark. All right.
They're a simple species.
Oh, yeah. Right.
No creature comforts.
All right. So we've still got 2 lurkers out there. They're just enjoying watching the show, watching us fall all over ourselves.
What's their names? What their names? We could lurk back.
Lurk back.
Twitch lurkers.
Alright, so let's say damage, immunity, poison. That's such a Pathfinder thing to do.
Are you doing this for 5e or are you doing this for Pathfinder?
Yeah, 5e still, but
okay.
Having played Pathfinder, it's like everything's immune to poison. Don't you?
Right.
Don't even bother trying to make a like poison build or some sort, because once you get past 8th or 9th level, that's just
right.
Not gonna work here anymore. Condition immunities. Oh, so let's see. Is he vulnerable to anything? Like
fire?
You think he's vulnerable?
Could you burn him?
Or freeze him? I feel like.
Oh, you want to? Yeah, there you go.
He's all muscle, right? So.
Yeah.
And then
tense him right up.
And then probably should have some sort of condition vulnerability to being blinded, maybe? Disadvantage to being blinded or something?
Yes.
Yeah, alright. Damage vulnerability. Cold. Easy enough. Condition immunities. He's got a whole slew of them because he's a swarm. Charmed, frightened, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, restrained, stunned. Ooh, I don't know if I like. Yeah, probably. Okay. Then we'll have to do some special ability here where the eyes have it. We'll call it the eyes have it.
That's a good one.
No
help from the lurkers. I'm so overly tired right now. It's not even funny.
Uh-oh. You had your class this week, right? You're teaching your class. How'd that go? Go well?
It was good. I was prepared for 30 minutes because that's what I was told I was supposed to do at the end of class.
Mm-hmm.
And he changed his mind in the beginning and is basically just kind of threw me up there for 2 hours. So yeah, Phil had to improvise a little bit. And
A little bit.
a little bit.
Four times as long, but that's yeah.
So,
Yikes.
and I must have changed the outline. I wrote that thing out 3 times. Woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm like, nobody's gonna care. So yeah, I just talked about failing for 20 years.
a lot of experience there myself. We need a name for this guy. I got Iycles. Iycles. Maybe if we change that to an I, it would be more aberration like, but pronounced the same. Iyecles.
Yeah.
Iycles. Swarm of Iycles. It's one of those words. If you say it enough, it sounds right. Iycles.
Right. Like, no, it's fine. It's a word. We were playing Scrabble.
Iycles consist of a mass of eyeballs, and tentacles. Mostly, almost entirely muscle. When they swarm a creature, let's see. The swarm can occupy another creature's space, vice versa. The swarm can move through any opening. Can't regain hit points. Okay, that's easy. They automatically grapple a large or smaller target. Blinded by the light. So this one is their vulnerability to being blinded. Senses. It's gonna do let's see, tremor sense, right? Tremor sense.
Yeah. Dude, you got to see the new spell book.
Oh yeah, looks good, huh?
Yeah, it's my favorite one so far.
But it's
also
remind me, conjuration,
evocation.
evocation.
So I get to illustrate the infamous fireball.
Awesome.
And eldritch blast. So the guy who originally owned the spell book was a narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
And it plays off of the story in the beginning of the book. So I thought anytime there's a male sorcerer, it should be the same guy. So I'm like, well, why not make it me? So I sat in my house in my underwear with a tripod and a camera and made wizard poses all afternoon, looking like an idiot. My cats were looking at me like, you've lost it. Yeah, and you're not going to feed us today, are you? So, yeah, if staring at yourself in your underwear for 10 hours a day doesn't make you self-conscious, I don't know. You're a better man than me. But it's turning out cool.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah, and it's a great idea too. Narcissistic wizard. Let's see. Understands. Void speech. But cannot speak. This is awesome. What a crazy idea.
I'm telling you, it was that foot.
Yeah.
And we get to Gary Con around 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to wake up with night tremors, and I will remember what cartoon it was.
Yeah. You shout it out in the middle of the night.
Yep. I will go out on the street. Probably get arrested. It was a foot. Darn it.
All right, so they are swarm. Can occupy another creature's space and vice versa. The swarm can move through an opening large enough for a tiny insect or human eyeball. The swarm can't regain hit points or gain temporary hit points. That's all by the book. Looking pretty good. So I need some sort of this guy's like all special abilities. He's not going to have much of an attack at all, I think. Or these guys. Yoons are just going to have a... So they've got blinded by the light, swarm, the eyes have it, and then they just got to have some sort of corrupting visage, corrupted form, not corrupted. How about horrifying form, horrifying vision?
Oh, wait. Not Elder. What was the word that H.P. Lovecraft used to overuse all the time in his earlier books?
Eldritch? No.
No.
Uh,
Not Miskatonic. It was he used to use one word
that's
way too many times.
Miskatonic, that's the college, right? Or the school?
Yeah.
Or that there is a Miskatonic University.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. It was like
look at it this way. That took the place of the foot. So you think about that.
No, now I got two. Now I gotta take a double dose of my knockout medicine tonight. Oh my god, it drives me. I'm ready to look that up.
Sucker punch, sucker swarm, sucker. Just trying to think of its basic attack action. So if it has, let's see.
Actually, sucker punch would be hilarious.
Sucker punch. We'll do it. It's more than half HP.
Let's make one come up.
Swarm a creature by entering its space. Alright, now. Alright, let's do this. I feel like this guy's. Let's do. So if he's got. I feel like I want to do another 10 hit dice creature. Like he's fairly beefy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do a swarm of insects, that's 5 hit dice by itself. And a swarm of insects, just squash that. And
Right.
I want this to be a problem for a 3rd or 5th level. That's my kind of my favorite go-to range for playing, like 3rd to 5th level.
Yeah.
And if you have a 10 hit dice tiny, well, they're not medium swarm of tiny beasts, medium swarm of tiny aberrations. So it's a medium-sized creature, which means it's D8 medium swarm of tiny aberrations. So I'm going to say melee weapon. see, he's got +2 strength. He's got, or it's got 10 hit dice, which would be what, +3. So 5. He's got a +7. To hit with a reach of 0, meaning he has to be in your square. That makes it all the more intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Target.
As he caresses your ankle with a cold sucker on your big toe. It's like those wacky little worms in Africa.
Oh my
They
gosh.
kind of,
yeah.
they scare the hell out of me. Those things.
Yeah.
I don't even. I'm not.
Bot flies,
My wife goes.
Right? Botfly larva.
Oh my God! That was another wormhole I went down the other night. The bot flies. Oh my God! They're horrible.
That's really disgusting.
At what point in your?
But fascinating to watch extracted.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on that for like 3 hours straight watching. I'm like, why? Why am I doing this? I will never get these 3 hours back.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna say this dude does. Let's see. 12 on a 2d8 +2. Bludgeoning damage. Okay, then we copy and paste when he has less than half hit points. Same to hit, but does about half damage. Let's do 5, 7. Okay, so he's not going to hit you very hard, but I feel like the psychic damage is going to do some serious. See, is that? I'm torn between that being an action or just something that, like, I can't remember in like 3rd edition Pathfinder type stuff. There's creatures that just radiate damage.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I would say just radiate it, because I mean, what better warning sign than scrambling a brain that something evil is coming?
Right.
And there's like no defense off, so everybody's caught flat-footed on that. That poor UPS guy came tonight, man. He had to deliver 21 cases of books to me tonight.
Oh my gosh.
In the snow.
Well, God bless him. That's nuts.
He came late. I said, man, you got a long day? He goes, yeah. I said, well, have you eaten yet? He goes, no. I said, hold on. So I got him some Kind bars.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Yeah, I'm kind of a shady character. And, there's just this punk rock, cop car in the driveway. Mm-hmm. And he kind of looks at it and he was like, did I just get meth? I'm like, dude, it's Kind bars.
Don't worry about it being open. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. or the ooze coming out of it.
Oh, gross.
No, that's good. It's organic.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Was it? Here's the third one that's going to bug me all night. What was the band that had the eyeball with the wings on it? They just did a documentary on them. They were out of San Francisco.
Eyeball with the.
It was the iconic. It was out of the '60s or the '70s. It was the eyeball with the wings, and the main character in this band wore these giant eyeball heads, and they had top hats, and they just did experimental music from the '60s and the '70s, and nobody knew their identity. I can't remember their damn name.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that totally taps out my music knowledge. That's a Danny or Brian question for sure. They might know.
I didn't like the music, but the stage presence was awesome, especially, back then they were making these giant paper mache eyeballs and putting top hats on them and just playing all night.
I'll have to look that one up.
They're called not the replacements. It was, I can't remember.
Bicycle, Iycles. Difficult to stomach. The energy let loose by a swarm is mind-shattering. A creature that can creature that
That's it. He's getting a top hat. Hold on. I'll take it off, but it's going to be funny. That's what these guys look like. They look like that.
That's what you see after your mind gets melted by him. Yeah, a creature that starts its turn within 20 feet of. Hello, my baby.
Enough of that. Exactly. Oh, darn it. Why didn't we do a frog tonight? We're doing a frog next week.
Next week. Must succeed in a DC. Let's see. 12. Is it 12? 8. 11. Wisdom saving throw or. Psychic damage. So that'd be 2.5, 2.5. 5, 7. Got it. Muttering to myself here. I've got something to show you in just a second.
I'm just thinking I could see this thing coming out of my shower drain.
Yeah, no doubt. It's immune to. Alright, I need a name for this one, but this is his. It's a good. So I've got mind shatter or something like that, but I don't think that really works. That's not what we're looking for. It's like just its presence is corrupting. But
is it like a fear based?
We can do fear based right now. I've just got it doing psychic damage. So 40.
Mind tremors, mind rattle.
Ooh, mind rattle, mind tremor,
mind vibe. Um,
Doesn't have to
mind
be
ripple, brain ripples.
Brain ripple. brain,
It's
brain ripper.
like shampipple.
I'm gonna have to rip that one out and just do it by itself, just completely out of context. It's like shampoo.
Right. They'll be like, nobody gets it. Champagne and ripple.
What's some good Lovecraftian term?
I think if you Google it,
Yeah, I'm going to Google here.
that word will pop up, and I'll knock one of the things off my list tonight.
The following are the 10 words or root words which occur most often in Lovecraft's original novels. There you go. Okay. Hideous, fainted,
Okay.
nameless, and antiquarian, singular, madness, abnormal, blasphemous, accursed, and loathing. Loathing. I like loathing.
Yes.
Loathing. Presence, loathing, gaze, loathing.
Oh, there you go.
Gaze or presence? Gaze?
I would say gaze because we're dealing with an eyeball. Oh my God, it's perfect. Loathing gaze.
Yeah.
Because you got a loving gaze, but now you got a loathing gaze.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's when she serves you the papers. She gave me that loathing gaze. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's his bread and butter, or its bread and butter. So I've got the wording on that is. Hold on just a second. Let me format this a little bit. I think we're done with the stats. Record time right there. Have to play test.
I love this guy.
Me too. This is. I walked into this thinking there's no way we're gonna top Crocobot, but I think we might have.
But we are doing a frog next week. I swear to God.
It's yeah, frog would be great. There's like you've got the slad on the demon side, and then you've got the on the just the giant frog. What's it called? Froghemoth.
Yeah, we could have a rain of frogs.
A flying
And they start.
swarm of raining frogs. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's great. All right, so that loathing gaze, loathsome gaze, loathing gaze. The otherworldly energy exuded by a single Iycle is difficult to stomach. The energy let loose by a swarm is mind-shattering. A creature that starts its turn within 120 feet, that's pretty far. Maybe 30 feet. Within 30 feet of an Iycle's swarm must exceed a DC 11, which is fairly low, wisdom saving throw, or suffer 9 psychic damage, 44 minus 1. Creatures that roll a natural 20 on the save become immune to loathing gaze for 24 hours. Otherwise, characters who meet the conditions above must repeat the saving throw every round. I think I'm going to do a 9 on this guy. Oops. Let's do a 10 on wisdom, so it's not a -1 anymore. Kind of cheating. So that's 44. 2.5 is 5. That's 10 psychic damage. Does it? Is it over? I don't think it's overpowering enough that it's half damage. I think it's just save or all or none.
Yeah, save or go home.
Yeah. Okay. Creatures that so DC 12. 12 wisdom saving throw. It's every round. So what is it? 8 plus. Actually, it's more than that, isn't it? So it's 11. It is 11. All right, we're down to the last two things. One being the hit points. We decided it was going to be 10d8 for a medium-sized creature plus 0 con. Math in public. 8 times 2.5.
Speaking of math, I had the highest score on my astronomy exam.
Is that right? Nice.
I set the curve.
Well, that's great.
I was so happy until the couple next to me started making out.
What?
Dude, I tell you what, I've never been so uncomfortable. Yeah, there's this couple that sits next to me. I mean, everybody's in there, 18, 19 years old.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, because he does a PowerPoint presentation, so half the lights are off.
Okay.
And we sit in the back. And I look over, like, one seat over, and they're making out.
What?
Like, I thought by the time he got to the 6th slide on his PowerPoint, she was going to be pregnant. I was like, this is it. I'm gonna have to be the godfather of this baby.
Right? I laid witness.
Yep, I saw it go down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that went on for a half hour. I was like, I can't believe this.
Right. Yeah, that is weird. All right, so this dude only has, by the math, 45 hit points, which I don't love.
Wait, as a swarm?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, he's got no con. 10 hit dice at d8 for a medium-sized swarm is 45 hit points. So I'm thinking maybe two things.
Okay.
Either it's a large swarm, or maybe that is the medium. I mean, it's just a medium swarm, and then you also have a large one. I can make stats for a large one, and then that would be
There you go.
more
at higher levels.
Yeah, yep. And then
Yep.
So that's what I'll do. I'll make a single, which
Right.
you'll just step on. Be like a 0 level adventure bad guy, and then we have the medium here, and then I'll make a large one as well, and that'll beef it up a little bit. I feel like Loathing Gaze might need to be save or half versus save or none.
Right.
It's not going to last, but it's not going to last, but a round. I mean, it's got, well, I don't know. It's got damage resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, with no magical caveat. So I mean, it's effectively double its hit points unless you hit it with cold, and then you're just going to wipe it right out.
Right. But no one would really know that. I mean,
That's true. Yep.
it would just have to be like a happenstance kind of thing.
All right, I'm going to make creatures that make their saving throw take half damage. I think that works. I'm not too worried about that. So it's only going to be around for 1 or 2 rounds as a medium creature.
Right.
I guess depending on the CR or depending on who you throw it against. So it'll deal a little bit of damage even if they squash all of them really quick. All right, so we've got we're coming up on our hour here, but we've got Swarm of Iycles with it's got a 14 strength, 8 dex, 10 con, 1 intelligence, 10 wisdom though I bumped that up, 1 charisma. It's resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. It's immune to poison, vulnerable to cold. It's condition immunities are charmed, frightened, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, restrained, and stunned. All those things are pretty. Although now that I say petrified out loud, I kind of feel like that maybe should be a thing. It's not like it can close all of its eyes at once, right? You look at Medusa and
Yeah.
I'm going to take that petrified part out. That would be actually pretty funny. Just a bunch of little eye tentacles falling down the ground because they got petrified. Its main sense is tremor sense 40 feet, but I gave it keen senses, so it has advantage on wisdom checks that rely on tremor sense. So it's gonna see it no matter, like, if you're trying to sneak past it. It's gonna sense those sensitive tentacles. Understands void speech but can't speak. I'm gonna have to figure out. This is another one I'm not gonna be able to just walk right in and say this is a challenge rating XYZ. I'm gonna have to look this one up, I think. Special abilities are blinded by the light. It suffers disadvantage in daylight, and they also suffer disadvantage against blinded effects. Keen senses. The Iycles swarm has advantage on wisdom. I already said that one. Swarm, which is a standard swarm language, so it can fit through tiny spaces, and it can jump in your space. Eyes have it. Iycle consists of a mass of eyeballs and tentacles, almost entirely muscle. When they swarm a creature by entering its space, they automatically grapple a large or smaller target. Loathing gaze, which is beautiful. The piece de resistance. The otherworldly energy exuded by a single Iycle is difficult to stomach. The energy let loose by a swarm is mind-shattering. A creature that starts its turn within 30 feet of an Iycle swarm must succeed a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw or suffer 10 4d4 psychic damage. Creatures that make their saving throw take half. Creatures that roll a natural 20 on their save become immune to the loathing gaze for 24 hours. Otherwise, characters who meet the conditions above must repeat the save every round. And then it's got an attack, but it's really not its main go-to. So it's got Sucker Punch, which I like on top of Loathing Gaze because Loathing Gaze isn't an action, so it's going to be exuding this negative energy or mind-shattering energy, but it's also going to be able to punch if it gets in your square. So it does a +7 to hit. +7 to hit, doing 12 damage with all those as all the tentacles wrap around your appendages. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's almost like a giant fishnet with eyeballs.
Yeah.
Strangling you.
Oh man.
It's all goopy.
Yeah, it's like snails or whatever, right? They're leaving a trail.
Yeah.
Gross.
Oh, snail snot.
I'm gonna have to commission you for a scene with these guys. Just taking do you remember that? Was it Fiend Folio?
Fiend Folio
with the rot grubs. Remember which one I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
And the dude's he's got one going into his arm, and he's trying to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna do that.
Need a picture like that with these guys. Only they're one going into his mouth or something.
No, his ear.
Or is it? Oh yeah, both.
Like Star Trek. All of it. Yeah. We'll keep it PG. So we started with anime. We're gonna end with anime.
On that note, folks, if you were able to tune in and lurked around there, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. And this is the Swarm of Iycles. I am Matt Casey Rift, and this is Phil Stone on the art. And if you are a if you're one of our patrons, this will be included in the included in one of our tier levels once we get it all published up and prettied up. If you are interested in our other shows, we have Wizards of the Couch every other Monday night, twice a month, where we talk with industry professionals and discuss the world and industry of gaming. Phil and I and the other Wizards of the Couch are going to be at GaryCon coming up next month, March 26th through the 29th. We're going to have an exciting time there, so if you see us, be sure to say hi. We'll have our own room provided by GaryCon to stream game content all weekend long. So if you're interested, you can look up that streaming game content on the main GaryCon website and participate in those Twitch games. Or if you're not able to attend GaryCon, we're also managing all of the VTT content, which will open up this weekend, February 8th. Did I miss anything? You got anything, Phil?
I'm good, man. I can't wait till next week.
Long live the Iycles.
Exactly. Oh, they do. They need
A cult.
Yes. Yep. That's what they need. I'm gonna be busy this weekend with these little guys.
You know, we're done with this, but I think you're onto something. They may have like some sort of collective. We talked about the collective at the beginning, but I never did reflect it in the stats. So
They need fanatics.
Maybe they got a one intelligence by themselves, but something like a collective intelligence, and then when they get in an individual, ooh.
Oh, like a mind flayer from the inside.
Yeah, from the inside. Ooh.
Oh
man, we're in trouble. This one's not going away anytime soon.
Nope. They're gonna have an evil cousin.
Sweet. All right. Good night, everybody. We will see you again next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, 10 p.m. Eastern. And